Hello and welcome to Vlogmas 2025. You do not know how long I have been waiting to say those words. I am so excited for it to be the 1st of December today and a chance to pick up my vlogging camera again. My name is Fran. I am a British lady living in the southwest of France in the mountains called the Pyrenees. I am married to a lovely Frenchman and we are raising our two bilingual children here. They are 10 and 6 years old. And I love wool. Wool is at the centre of all my making adventures, be that natural dyeing, knitting or crochet, tiny bit of weaving, and probably my most favourite, which is spinning, hand spinning. And yeah, the idea of Vlogmas is that folks make little vlogs, little invitations into their day all throughout the month of December. And for me it's going to be the slow and gentle build up to solstice, winter solstice, and then to Christmas with my family. I have done this for 2 years now, I think, so this is my 3rd year of Vlogmas, and yeah, I'm just so happy and so excited to be here again. It's just a wonderful way to build a connection with people, to share little glimpses into my daily life, into my life in France, into the crafts that I just love and that keep me going so well. And yeah, just spend moments by inviting you into my world. I envisage this month lots of walks. I'm really looking forward to taking you on my nearly daily walk around the valley. Snippets of French life, hopefully take you to the farmer's market, mountain life as well, if we manage to do some further up high outings. I hope there will be snow. We had a little dusting of snow about 10 days ago when it was very cold, and we all know, as lovers of wool and knitting and crochet, it's the best time of year when we can get our winter woolens out, or our hand knit jumpers and scarves and hats. So yes, hopefully there will be some snow, hopefully we will go sledging. And the thing that's particularly exciting me about this coming month is I have been drawn right back into spinning. I have some bobbins here on my lazy Kate. They are waiting to be plied. They are the leftovers of a couple of projects that I've just been finishing off in anticipation of Vlogmas. My hope is to spin a little bit every day and to show you what I'm up to. I've been picking out some favourites from my fibre stash, and I'll show you those today or tomorrow, we'll see. And I'm calling this project, my daily spinning practice, Stash Vent or Stashmas. No, Stash Vent, I think, was the name I came up with. I have a dear podcasting friend called Mimi, who's a sister in wool and woolly things, and she has a podcast called the Yarn Chicks Podcast. And every end of the year for the past 4 or 5 years, you can correct me, Mimi, I can't quite remember when it began, she's been organising something called Stash Vent, which is a way for folks all over the world to prepare countdown calendars with fibre or mainly yarn in from their stash. So it's a stash share of stash treasures, and then Mimi will have paired us up with somebody that we send that to, and then somebody else is preparing a stash vent for us. And there are guidelines in that You can stipulate if you prefer like neon colours or sheepy shades. If you are drawn to a particular weight of yarn, we can add in little presents, little trinkets or yummy things or tea bags. Yeah, and the idea is to have this just fun, lovely countdown focus community feeling. So I've participated twice and I've really enjoyed doing so. But this year I am feeling drawn to my fibre stash, and so I will be spinning hopefully a little bit every day and just finding joy in what I already have. And yeah, I am interested to see how much yarn I will have spun by the end of the 4.5 weeks. I'm not putting any pressure on myself. It's not like a personal challenge or I've got to spin so many kilometers or anything. It's just to enjoy the practice of spinning. So yeah, those are the things I'll be sharing here. The shape of my week is that our children go to school 4 days a week. In France, school-aged children don't attend school on a Wednesday. So my main days for being here in my making nook are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. The children are with us on Wednesdays. So I don't know whether I'll be managing to film on that day at all, I don't know. And obviously at the weekends we'll be together as a family. So if I don't show up on a day, don't worry. I've also been pre-recording a few things through the month of November, sharing with you on the journey from autumn or November into December. I'll explain if this has been recorded previously so it does make sense. And yeah, hopefully as well showing you our slow steps towards firstly solstice, winter solstice, and then Christmas itself. So yeah, welcome here. Welcome here if you're new. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments. And if you're a returning viewer, oh, it's really good to be here again. I won't go into it now, but I sort of disappeared quite quickly with the Vlogtober. I'm fine, just my health was a little bit wobbly for a few weeks and I needed to find quieter places that were not too stimulating to be. And I think in the end I found that place on my needles again, which is really lovely, and out in nature, in fresh air. I've been really trying to invite movement more meaningfully into my daily life for my mental health and also my physical health. And it will be a joy to share with you snippets from my daily walks. They're not very exciting in that we're not like a very high altitude village. We're at 600 meters. So I tend to just walk from home around in the woods and a little bit by the river. But it's just beautiful to be out, and I look forward to sharing that with you. So I'm going to leave it there for now, keep things really simple for this first vlog, partly because my son is off school today with a poorly tummy and I'm quite tired out from the weekend. So yeah, I think that will be all for now. I'm going to go and clear off one of my bobbins. See you tomorrow. So here is the view from where I have just been filming. There's my trusty old sewing machine. It's a Singer Gypsy, I think. I've got some swatches, all made from hand spun, that I'm just waiting to perhaps redo my cork board to the side of me and start putting them on display. Here's a little present for my sister, which is my first attempt at weaving a bookmark from my handspun. It's a bit wobbly, but I hope she'll enjoy it. I've got my bobbins, So I have 4 bobbins in total. I have these 2 which are filled with local to me French sheep fibre called Tarasconaise. This one's a Southdown that I had to finish off. I've been trying to clear off my bobbins, and I have a 3rd one of this. So I completely forgot that my Lendrum spinning wheel currently doesn't have the drive band I need for the big plying bobbin and head, so I'm going to have to wind some of that off and probably ply it back on itself, which yeah, please don't tell the spinning police. The other task I would like to do in Vlogmas is to begin a new spinning journal. So this is my first one, which I didn't really get very far with, unfortunately. I did a lot of spinning back in 2022, I think, at the start of the year, and I started this journal, but I just didn't fill it up. Here's one I did. So this was me spinning some Wesson fleece, which is a French breed. I spun 2 bats woolen spun. This is the finished yarn. The idea was to make socks as part of a make-along, but I realised, of course, it's not going to hold up, so I'd prefer to use it to make a shawl or something. And here's this is a 3-ply sock challenge I had, 2022, and here's the finished swatch of this lovely 3-ply, probably sock weight rather than 4-ply, but I'd never done a 3-ply yarn before, and it was rather exciting. So the idea is that I've got a new journal, because who doesn't like a new journal? I've had this journal for a couple of years and I've just not known how to begin it, what to put in it. It's got just plain, no, not plain, ruled lines, soft lines, and each page is numbered, so I've got 316 pages to fill up, and I'm quite inspired. I love the podcast called This is a Sarah. She has knitting journals that are just for her, that she fills up with project details and some of the yarn, the ball band, etc. And I would love to sort of mesh that idea with what was my old journal, which that was inspired by Andrew Mowry on one of her very earliest knitting, what's it called, Our Knit If I Want To podcasts. So I want to kind of put them together, because I'm a really bad record keeper when it comes to my spinning. I haven't spun or used hand spun for probably over a year, and I always thought, oh, I can remember what this yarn is, I'll know it, like I can with certain yarns, but I went through my hand spun stash the other day and there's some things I can't remember, when I spun it, how I spun it, what it spun from. So that's the idea of the journal, and then I want to make labels every time I finish a yarn off. So yeah, that's kind of my tasks for the coming month. I'm really excited. The first task will be to ply my finished yarns, and then I can get started on some new projects. So here I am on the floor next to my beloved Lendrum spinning wheel, which needs a little clean, a little dust and clean, and a little bit of oiling, which I'll do later. But for now I just wanted to show you the stash I'm thinking of using. I'm not quite sure how to do this because currently everything's in sort of crinkly bags. Maybe I could empty it into my basket and then show you. Yeah, I'll do that maybe, and then we'll talk about it.
Call it off and don't look this lonely track. All my worries of yesterday, I can't seem to get away. We were golden turning blue. I thought you could see it too. Through our hands it slipped away. We were never here to stay. We were so wild and free. We were just kids in love. I gave you the best of me, and all I was asking of you was to never break it.
So this is my basket of happiness. Of course there's far too much yarn in here, much more than I'd be able to spin comfortably over the coming month. I just wanted to have some options, and although I've put it all into this basket, it's actually going to be living on my ironing board behind me. So what have I got in here? So I've got some more Southdown top to continue my exploration of worsted spinning. I actually learnt how to spin. I think I did everything the wrong way round. I began to spin with raw fleeces that I gathered from local farmers here in the Pyrenees, and I was working primarily with the Barigeoise breed, which is one of the three local rare breeds from my department, which is in the UK, it would be like a county. And this breed was actually originates from the valley where we lived. We now live in a different valley, and they have a different breed of sheep here that also goes into a neighbouring valley. There's a little bit of a tension between the valleys, like the name of the sheep. Our valley is called Campan, the other valley is called Or, and sometimes the sheep is known as Campanoise, Campan Or, or Oroise, or Or Campan. So it's just a bit of friendly rivalry, but in the past it's not been so friendly. So yeah, so that would be to practice my worsted spinning. Then we have a lovely big amount of Wesson carded bat. Oops. I haven't weighed it recently, so I can't remember how much I have, but we've got plenty there. And this might, for example, be the main project. I have an intention of this to become a shawl to replace my wedding shawl, which sadly didn't survive a moth attack when I was not very well and didn't properly secure my woolen clothes. Anyway, this could be the replacement. I love this shade of grey. It's got lovely flecks in it of dark brown. It's wonderful. So hopefully some of that. Keeping on the grey theme, this is some beloved Ryland carded sliver. Please correct me if that's not the correct name for this preparation, but that was what I was told it's called when I bought it. It smells so sheepy. So this I've had in my stash for maybe 9 years. It's the leftover so it comes from a producer called Wildcraft UK, which is a lovely lady with a small holding in Dorset, which is where I'm from. And actually these sheep graze like 20 minutes from the town I was born in. So these are like a very feeling local, feeling a bit homesick kind of hug. And I spindle spun from this one and from two other carded slivers, a white and a brown or black, also Ryland, which I turned into a shawl, and so I spun it all by hand on spindle 9 years ago, I think. You'll notice there's a bit of a theme in my fibre stash and my knitting stash, which is just that there's been periods where I've had more health and more time to pursue my spinning or my knitting, and being a young mum, being chronically ill, there's other times where it's not really been possible. So I like to think of my stash as quite a soulful stash, which is a term I'm borrowing from lovely Sarah of what was the Fibre Trek podcast. She now has a new name. Sorry Sarah, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll write it down on the bottom. I like wool that connects with me, that has could be the geography that connects me. This again is Wesson, so this is the sort of famous breed of tiny sheep from Brittany, which is where we've lived together as a family for a couple of years, a few years back. I actually saw some Wesson sheep yesterday. We were walking up the mountain basically to our friends for a 10th birthday party, and on the way up there was lots of noisy dogs followed by goats and Wesson sheep and then horses, so that was fun. Another connection point comes from this lovely Norfolk horn, hope I'm saying that right, which again I think is Sliver. I've actually spun half of this last year, or the year before, during Stash Vent, and I'd like to finish it off this year, although spin it a bit finer than I did the last time. The yarn I made from this, I'm currently experimenting with creating a hand spun hat or cowl kind of thing that you can put up onto your head, so it'd be good to finish this one off. And then finally I have two little projects, one of which this is some Gotland fleece that I was kindly sent by my dear friend Leka, the Fibre Tales podcast. This is actually from her sheep, or her family sheep, that then gets spun into her beautiful Gotland yarn. And she very kindly sent this to me a very, very long time ago, when we sort of connected on Instagram and she wasn't yet Fibre Tales. She sent me a big box rammed with yarn, and this was what was left of the darker shade. So I'm hoping to spin that, possibly returning to my spindle. As you can see, I've already started on that. This is a French, traditional French spindle. It's a suspended spindle form of spinning, so it has a notch, probably can't see that, but a notch right at the top, and then you spin it with your fingers almost like a clicking, and then you actually let it spin over your thumb and you spin it with the distaff. So if I decide to pursue that yarn on the spindle, I will show you of course, but it may be that I'll go to the wheel. And then the last thing is some rolags that I made the other day. A dear French friend of mine who comes from Normandy, which is the department right up the top of the west part of France. So she lives near to Cherbourg, and I actually grew up just the other side of the channel. So if you got in the sea where she lives and swim north, you'd arrive on the beach that I grew up on, essentially. And she really kindly the other day we did like a swap, and she sent me some Avranchin or Avranchin fleece that was unwashed. So I scoured it and then I've let it dry and carded it into these little rolags, and I will be spinning these long draw, and it's just a little sample, but already I'm in love. It's very bouncy fibre. sorry, a bit of hair from my head in there. Yeah, and I'm really excited to try it, and I'm hoping if I like it, it'll be possible to have some more. So there we go, that's my basket of happiness for the coming month. My spin vent, as I said, and yeah, I'm going to just get back into keeping good notes of my spinning. So yeah, I don't quite know exactly what order I'll be spinning these in, if I'll spin everything, if something else will come in and want to be spun as well. I'll have to see, but I'm going to sign off for now because it's lunchtime and I need to go and prepare some food. I will be very excited to be back with you again tomorrow, and yeah, thank you for being here. Wishing you a very, very happy first day of Vlogmas, our first week of Advent as well. We got our first candle out yesterday. We light the candle on each Sunday, we add in a new candle, and we burn it on a Sunday during the meal, or burn them on a Sunday during the meal. So yeah, I love Advent, this season of waiting and trying to cultivate patience and calm and expectation as we move through the darker days of the year and head towards the light. So yeah, thank you for being here, and I'll see you again tomorrow.